Hello and welcome to Spring Equinox. This is the Oily Witch update on Ostara, what Ostara is, what we can expect, and also information about the full moon, not even new, it's a new lunar eclipse, but it's a full moon in Libra on Monday. So I'm just going to cleanse myself, bring myself into this space. I use essential oils for that because at the moment I have a sore chest, which is a virus going around. And so using sage would just make me cough and cough and cough. But also using essential oils is all levels. It takes in the spiritual, emotional, and physical. So that's really, really important. So what can we expect from this moment in time other than getting over viruses, which a lot of people are doing? There's a lot of coughs and colds out there that are really, some people are very, very sick, and I'm sorry to hear that. But it is a kind of physical process by which you are going through and need to go through in order to cleanse, because this is cleanse and release. Ostara is all about the kind of reawakening of the light side and putting to bed the dark side. So the integration of shadow as light wakes up. And Ostara is also known as Spring Equinox, Bacchanalia, Ladies' Day, Easter, many, many things, rites of spring equinox. And what it actually is happening is the sun has moved over the equator, and that happened in our hemisphere at 3:06 this morning. I certainly felt it, and it's on its way through to the Tropic of Cancer. And when it gets to the Tropic of Cancer, which will be on the summer solstice, and it will turn, because tropic means turn, and come back down again until it gets all the way down to the Tropic of Capricorn, which is winter solstice, and then it will turn again and come up again. And that's what it does. It's doing this. And I always think it's useful to know the astrology. So basically, I'm going to read what I've written because my brain, completely reflecting what's going on at the moment, is sharp, but not entirely sharp. And I don't want to miss anything. And so I took the time to write this down. So we're embracing the darkness of winter so that we can bring out the vibrancy of spring. Ostara was a northern goddess of fertility from the Germanic tribes. This is all about balance, renewal, and new beginnings. It's releasing whatever is hindering us from our own personal growth. I've certainly talked about this a lot in my circles, possibly even on here, about that. And that can be toxic relationship, that can be negative habits that we have that are actually harming us, and that can be self-doubt, which, three biggies there. And about embracing the inner peace and reclaiming lost aspects of ourselves. That's really important. And the sun is maturing. So in bulk, it was in its infancy. Well, it was born again at winter solstice, and then it's in its infancy. And now we're kind of getting to kind of teenage sun. In all of that, we've got this full ash moon on Monday, and ash is ruled by the sun and Neptune. So we've got the kind of sun energy of kind of vibrancy and coming out and yang, and against the Neptune, which is, the god of kind of emotional wisdom, the ruler of Pisces, kind of there, which can bring great opportunities for dreams and insights and connections to kind of other dimensions and worlds, but also can create kind of confusion, all of that. And you think about when you look at water, like you put your head in a river or kind of any moving water, it's not clear, is it? It's like you can see there's so much content and wisdom in there. So this lunar eclipse on Monday is at 5 degrees of Libra. So this is any kind of eclipse, and we'll have a solar eclipse afterwards. They always come in pairs, and that will happen in April. But the lunar eclipse is kind of a supercharge of energy. It's amplifying that desire to urge to cleanse and let go. But the kind of caveat with this is not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because of the confusion, you need to make make sure that you're entirely clear about what you need to let go of. If it's time for it, if it's even, you needing to let go or find a different way to frame that. And if you've been fooling yourself about things, really seeing the fact that you've been fooling yourself about how relationship is, etc., and letting that go. So it's really a separation of fact from fiction is what this whole process is about. And it's being made incredibly difficult by what's going on in the solar system. So we have Saturn, Neptune, and Venus in Pisces. Saturn doesn't like Pisces because Saturn likes to put down rules and structures, and Pisces is like, listen, I just go with the flow. So you've got Saturn kind of, there's not that many boundaries available to bring things, corral this water, because our boundary planet is in water going, oh. Neptune, I've talked about. Venus, it's kind of like Venus in Pisces is like, oh, the best of everything, the rose-tinted glasses. So we've got all that going on. Then we've got Pluto and Mars in Aquarius, which is kind of like the transitioning of kind of, death, rebirth energy into that transformation around kind of humanitarian efforts, kind of, friendships, how we feel about ourselves, thought processes, that kind of energy. Spirituality, Jupiter and Taurus, and also Uranus. So breaking up establishments and habits. So, habits all the way here. And this is creating cosmic chaos. That's no wonder so many people are ill, because, we have these emotions. If we don't process them, they turn to illness. Or if we're not taking the time to process them, the body goes, sit still, you're going to think this one through. Cleansing. And that's why you always feel so good after you've been ill, because you kind of rested. So don't lose sight of reality. If there's a lot going on for you, it's often signifying a turning point in your life. It could be the fact that you were literally just beginning to see the long-term stresses that you never really acknowledged before. What is draining your energy? Or it could be unexpected wake-up calls, like things that basically have got to the point where you can no longer ignore them and you need to do something about them and stop pretending otherwise, heads out of sand at this point. And lunar eclipses, lunar by its very nature is buried deep emotions. So, there's a lot of kind of heads in the sand with this kind of stuff. I don't want to look at that. I'm just going to bury it. That comes up. And it's all about our growth and our evolution, as it always is. But in the background, Mercury is about to retrograde. So this isn't all about just dragging up those deep emotions. This is also surfacing the messages within them and seeing them with clarity, which is that truth I was talking about. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it confuses everything because it's kind of slowing it all down. It's like, and maybe that's a good thing, because as I said, you don't want to chuck the baby out with the bathwater. So, you've got to kind of slow down to really establish, the truth in what you think. It's very easy to blame everyone else, but actually we create our own environments, we create our own realities. So it's how our thinking processes and our feelings have got us to these places. Chiron is also coloring or flavoring both of these eclipses, which is really uncomfortable because he represents wounds and healing. So this is why all this stuff's coming up. So if you're playing out patterns that you recognize, you're like, what the hell? That's what that hell is. Because it's Libra, the theme of the lunar eclipse is relationship. And so we're going to be looking at relationship, true nature of relationship being revealed. And that's relationship with you and anyone else, basically. Not just intimate relationships, but you in relationship. So as those truths come out, this one's serving you, this one isn't. Be patient, be kind to yourself and to everyone else, because everyone's going through it. It's not just you. But that doesn't mean being kind to them at the kind of cost of yourself either, because that's an old pattern that's not serving either. So it's all about this balance, just slow processing. So on Monday, I'm actually reading someone's chart on Monday. On Monday, just take it slow. Just be kind, be gentle, and be in flow, and be prepared to let these things come up. Otherwise, you won't get rid of this. Cold, that is, not me. I coughed so much she couldn't even turn this off. Right. Starting a new witchcraft course on the 15th of April. If you'd like to be part of it, it's heavily discounted to 188 as opposed to 525, so heavily discounted. It's an online course and 7 1-hour sessions, which you will get a recording for, which you can use forever and understand all about spirituality. Really, it's not just witchcraft, but witchcraft is the tone of which I'm setting it. My astrology course is now available to buy online on oilywitch.com. So if you want to understand more about astrology, and that comes with a personal one-to-one session at the end, so I can answer any of your questions. If you need any auric cleansing sprays, I've made specific auric cleansing sprays, small ones for this time period with the right oils in to help you get through this process with ease. If you want any spiritual counselling sessions, the first one's 88, there's 66 thereafter. And if you are on benefits or really struggling, then talk to me and we'll see what we can do. And I have my online circles to support you through this process. So enough selling. Be well, and I'll speak to you soon.